Okay, so things that are going on right now in my life. I'm less than 2 weeks, or about 2 weeks. What's December 15th? Let's say December 14th, because I have my meeting with my lawyer before then. My lawyer, since 2007, who I've never met, who I'm going to meet now, workers advocate for the Office of the Worker Advisor for the Ministry of Labor, who's been handling my WSIB case. Yada yada. It's long in history. If you're really curious, there are links about it on my live journal. But this is like a really important, monumental case day. If I win, I'm probably not going to get a lot of back pay because of certain policies set in place to further screw over people who have been through hell. But whatever. I would surely at least like to get my pay back, which, even that would be better than nothing. So and then after the case is done with, I'll see what I can do with all my documentation and see about informing public or finding out other people's stories and experiences so that I can perhaps put together something that will show the not just injustice to me, but injustice to other people in my situation and in worse situations, and the effect it has on their families, all for the sake of, the greediness of the companies that pay these premiums so that they don't get their ass sued when their workers get injured, and yet the workers end up getting further injured by a system that was supposed to be there to protect them but isn't. Do I make any sense? Probably not. Just ignore everything I've said. Just whatever the outcome is, it's going to be done before Christmas, which means it's going to be done before New Year. At one point, my lawyer had said if we couldn't get a date, a hearing in December, that I'd have to wait until March, which doesn't sound too far away. We know how time flies. Hell, it's almost the end of the year, right? But the thing is that 2007, and then it would be 2010 if this kept going. So I'm glad that it'll be over soon. It doesn't look good for me because one of the things that is against me, that is such a weird sound, whatever that was on my computer. One of the things against me is that I didn't have ongoing therapy throughout the time period, which if I had ongoing therapy, I would have been paid. I would get back pay, more back pay according to policy, if I'd been under treatment for my anxiety and depression and stuff. But the ironic thing, or the unfair thing, is that I couldn't get therapy because I couldn't afford it because I don't have money. You can't, if you're cut off from your income, you do not have the money to get it. And the system here is very difficult to get a therapist or to get any sort of ongoing help. There's tremendous waiting lists, and it's only if you have money that you can get a personal one, or it's so frustrating. It's it's extremely frustrating. But you know what? Whatever. Even if they back paid me to when they cut me off, even if they gave me a crap load of money for that, it would never compensate for everything I've been through since the beginning of this claim, or for what it's put my loved ones through, family, friends, anyone who's had to be there for me during my really low points of trying to deal with this, or for me, for me personally on a financial or whole basis of who I am. In some ways, I know that I can look at it in positive ways of how I had deeper learnings about life and, real connection to experience, and that the girl who went from high school to a factory job with no life experience or understanding of poverty or social justice or anything like that, or mental health, for instance. I had no, even though I went, I did have a history in childhood of going through things, I didn't have knowledge about mental health or anything. Now I certainly do. I mean, now I just, the idea that because I couldn't see a therapist, that meant I obviously had no issues, is just unbelievable. Even now, and probably for a long time, maybe, who knows, forever, I will probably have bouts of reverting to agoraphobic, reclusive tendencies. And if I'm not on medication, I'll probably have considerably intense panic attacks, considering I can have panic even on medication. And this is stuff I have to deal with for the rest of my life now because of what happened with the case and within the factory, and they could never compensate me for it. So what I'm doing now is just trying to keep in mind that regardless of the outcome, it will be resolved. I don't have to wait anymore. I can tell you, and I'm sure other people would relate. There's Hagrid. Who've been through this. Waiting is hell. Waiting for decisions, for the appeals, for the denials, for paperwork, for them to say no, for them to say no again, for this hearing. It's so hard. It's so hard to wait. And it's not like a waiting for Christmas Day kind of wait. It's not like, can't wait, oh my gosh, it's driving me crazy, I want to know what I got. No, it's like waiting, and as I say it each time, I feel it in my gut, like deep down, it hurts. It's a painful waiting. And many people would, some people might say, well, just, go on with your life and don't think about it. You can't not think about it when you're receiving the paperwork, when you're hearing from your lawyer, when you're aware of your financial restraints, when you're dealing with your side effects of everything you've gone through. I've actually done amazingly well if you look at it at the end of the day, considering all I've been through since the time my hands were hamburger meat to now. I've gone from a small town to moved to a city, to dealt with issues there, to finally, I finished my grade 12, and here I am in Toronto, and I went through a relationship thing, and I ended up on my own, and here I am. I'm still in Toronto. I'm in a beautiful area, as I've mentioned many times in these vlogs, and I'm still here, and I even got myself into a college program, which I go back into classes January 5th. I was sick. I had a respiratory infection, stomach virus, strep throat. I just kept getting sick. And then once I'd missed so much time being sick, like actually on antibiotics, stay away from school sick, then the agoraphobic recluse tendencies just hiked right up in correlation with the emails coming in about my claim. So it was just, but I'm registered for January 5th for classes. If I lose the claim, I go to classes, January 5th. I'm still considered a student. I'm still registered in this program. So I'll go to classes and I'll just soldier along. I have this new job that I do on the weekends for my old friend Ada. She's not old as in old. She's I go back to childhood in that I used to babysit her children, but the age gap isn't so big between her and I now. It's funny how things work out when you get older, but